The universe is vast, magnificent, and endlessly creative. It vibrates with boundless energy, brimming with ideas, opportunities, and miracles waiting to unfold. Yet so often we come to it with trembling hands and timid hearts, asking for crumbs instead of kingdoms. The universe is not stingy. It is not limited. It is not hesitant. It is infinite supply, infinite possibility, infinite power. It does not grow weary of giving, it grows weary of being asked for so little. You are not a beggar in this cosmic palace. You are a divine heir. You are an extension of infinite intelligence, clothed in form, breathing life into your desires. When you shrink your vision, when you dim your dreams, when you tell yourself you are asking for too much, you are not being humble. You are refusing your inheritance. And the universe waits, longing for you to awaken to your true station. The universe delights in bold requests. It thrills at great visions. It rejoices when you declare, with unshakable faith, that you will have the highest, the finest, the grandest expression of your purpose. When you dare to affirm abundance, love, health, and overflowing good, not in whispers but in certainty, you align with its endless flow. The infinite is magnetized to courage. It responds to confidence, not timidity. Every law of manifestation is written in your favor. What you hold in thought, backed by faith and feeling, is what you draw to yourself. Small thoughts create small conditions. Grand thoughts create grand conditions. You cannot attract oceans with a thimble. You cannot summon miracles with doubt and hesitation. You must expand your capacity to receive. You must rise to meet the greatness already prepared for you. Begin to think in terms of limitless supply. Begin to speak words that declare your birthright. Say to yourself, I am one with the inexhaustible riches of the universe. I ask without fear. I receive without limit. I expect the miraculous. Say it until you feel it, until the words become substance, until the unseen begins to arrange itself on your behalf. Release the small requests. Release the cramped visions. Release the notion that you are unworthy. The universe is bored with your pennies and scraps, it longs to pour forth its treasures. Ask for guidance in your highest work. Ask for relationships that uplift your soul. Ask for opportunities so rich and expansive they stretch your imagination. Ask to be a channel of divine power, so that you bless others as you are blessed. This is not selfishness, it is obedience to the truth of who you are. You were not born to tiptoe through life, apologizing for existing. You were born to reveal the infinite, to be a living testament to its generosity. When you prosper, the universe shines through you. When you stand in your power, others are inspired to stand in theirs. No longer shall you pray in fear or whisper in lack. No longer shall you doubt the goodness that flows toward you. From this moment on, lift your requests higher, wider, deeper. Dream audacious dreams. Declare magnificent outcomes. Command your good with the authority of one who knows their source. The universe will rush to meet you, for it delights in giving where it is welcomed with faith and expectancy. You are the vessel of divine imagination. You are the channel through which miracles manifest. Stop offering the infinite a cup and start offering it a riverbed. Stop asking for survival and start asking for transformation. Stop asking for a drop and start claiming the ocean. In the unseen realms, your request has already been answered. In the field of possibility, your vision already exists. All that is required is your bold acceptance of it. The universe is not bored with you, it is bored with your smallness. Step into your greatness. Step into your rightful inheritance. Speak with authority. Act with faith. Believe without hesitation. The infinite awaits your command, and it longs to show you just how magnificent your life can truly be. When you stop making timid requests and instead embrace bold, expansive visions, you open the door to the limitless power of the universe. Every thought you think, and every request you make carries a frequency, and the universe matches that frequency without judgment. When your desires are small, hesitant, and clouded with doubt, they vibrate at a level that can only produce small and hesitant results. Yet when your vision is grand, when you dare to see yourself living beyond boundaries, when you affirm your right to abundance, love, health, creativity, and success, you send out a powerful signal that calls forth the same energy in return. The universe delights in boldness. It responds to clarity and certainty. It does not withhold good things. It simply mirrors back to you the quality and scope of your inner expectations. The more expansive your inner world, the more expansive your outer experiences will be. This is why you must train yourself to think beyond survival, beyond comfort, and into true flourishing. Your imagination is the blueprint of your future. If you imagine only the bare minimum, you create only the bare minimum. If you dare to imagine the extraordinary, you set in motion unseen forces that will conspire to bring it to you in ways you cannot yet comprehend. To stop making timid requests is to stop apologizing for existing. It is to stop acting as if life is a favor, being done for you rather than a current flowing through you. Many people shrink their requests because they fear disappointment or believe they are undeserving. They have been taught to be realistic, to not get their hopes up, to settle for less than what their hearts truly desire. But the universe does not reward shrinking or self-denial. It rewards alignment with truth, and the truth is that you are a powerful creator connected to infinite supply. When you stand in that truth, your requests naturally grow larger. You stop asking for just enough to get by, and start asking for the full measure of what aligns with your purpose. You stop thinking of limitations and start thinking of expansion. This shift of consciousness is the foundation of every great transformation. Bold and expansive visions require faith, but not blind faith. It is the faith born of knowing who you are and where you come from. When you recognize that you are an expression of the infinite, you stop thinking of yourself as a separate, powerless individual hoping for scraps. Instead, you realize that the same energy that spins the galaxies is flowing through you. This realization emboldens your requests. You begin to affirm your desires with confidence. You write them down. You speak them aloud. You visualize them as already yours. And each time you do this, you strengthen the pattern in your subconscious mind. That pattern becomes a magnet drawing the circumstances, people, and resources necessary for its fulfillment. The universe is neutral but responsive. It does not judge your desires as too small or too big. It simply organizes around your dominant focus. If your dominant focus is fear, lack, or limitation, that is what is reflected back. If your dominant focus is abundance, possibility, and expansion, that is what is reflected back. To stop making timid requests is to change your dominant focus. It is to shift your mental state from lack to plenty, from fear to faith, from hesitation to conviction. This shift is not accomplished overnight, but every step you take toward it multiplies your power. Each time you choose a larger thought, you stretch your capacity to receive. Each time you affirm a bigger vision, you attract bigger opportunities. One of the most powerful ways to stop making timid requests is to examine your language. Your words reveal your beliefs. When you find yourself saying things like, "I just need enough," or "I'll settle for this," "I don't want to ask for too much," you are telling the universe to keep you small. You are signaling that you expect little, and therefore little will come. Replace these statements with bold declarations. I am open to infinite good. I welcome overflowing abundance. I am worthy of extraordinary opportunities. Speak these affirmations with conviction. Not as wishful thinking, but as statements of truth. Over time, your subconscious will accept them as your new reality, and your external world will follow suit. Another key aspect of bold, expansive vision is emotional alignment. You must not only think big but feel big. When you visualize your desires, allow yourself to feel the joy, gratitude, and excitement of their fulfillment. This emotional energy is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It infuses your vision with life and magnetizes it toward you. Do not wait for the manifestation to feel good now, and you accelerate the manifestation. This practice transforms your requests from timid to powerful, because you are no longer pleading for something you lack, but embodying the vibration of something you already possess. It is also essential to release the fear of how things will come about. Timid requests are often entangled with a need to control outcomes, but bold requests trust the process. When you set a bold intention, you are not dictating every detail. You are setting a direction and allowing the universe to orchestrate the details. This requires surrender and openness. It requires you to step into the unknown, which can feel uncomfortable but is the fertile ground of miracles. The more you trust, the more space you create for synchronicity and unexpected blessings to flow into your life. To develop boldness, look for evidence of it already working in your life. Reflect on times when you dared to ask for something big and it came to you. Notice the patterns of support, the coincidences, the way things lined up. Let these memories build your faith. Surround yourself with examples of people who think big and achieve great things. This will normalize boldness for you and dissolve any subconscious belief that it is wrong or impossible. The more you normalize abundance, the more natural it becomes to request it. Another practice is to clarify your desires without apology. Write them down in detail. See yourself living them. Speak them aloud daily. This clarity is a signal to the universe. Vague requests produce vague results. Clear, bold requests produce clear, bold results. Be unapologetic about your desires. You are not taking from anyone else by claiming you're good. The universe is infinite. There is more than enough for all. Your abundance does not diminish another's. In fact, it often uplifts and inspires others to claim their own. Stopping timid requests is also about expanding your self-image. You cannot consistently receive more than you believe you deserve. If your self-image is small, your results will be small. Begin to see yourself as someone who naturally experiences abundance, success, and fulfillment. Upgrade your beliefs about who you are. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are aligning your self-perception with the truth of your divine nature. As your self-image expands, so do your expectations, and as your expectations expand, so do your results. Ultimately, to stop making timid requests and embrace bold visions is to honor the creative power within you. It is to acknowledge that you are a co-creator with the universe, not a passive observer. Your desires are not random. They are the whispers of your higher self pointing you toward your purpose. When you dare to follow those whispers with boldness, you activate forces beyond your comprehension. Doors open, paths appear, and resources gather. You begin to live not by default but by design, not in reaction but in creation. Every time you choose a larger thought, a grander vision, a bolder request, you rise into a higher expression of who you truly are. You are a divine heir, not a beggar. And when you recognize this truth, every aspect of your thinking and living begins to transform. Most people walk through life believing they must scrape and claw for their good, pleading with life to spare them a small measure of safety or comfort, but this belief is rooted in separation and unworthiness. The truth is that you are an extension of infinite intelligence, a spark of the same power that spins the stars and brings forth new worlds. This power is not outside of you, granting or withholding at random. It flows through you as your very life. You inherit its abundance simply by being what you are, and your only task is to align your thoughts, words, and actions with that inheritance. When you step out of the beggar mentality, you step into the realm of dominion, where you no longer plead for scraps, but claim your rightful portion with calm assurance and faith. Recognizing yourself as a divine heir means seeing yourself as a channel of infinite supply. Supply does not originate in your job, your bank account, or other people. These are channels, not sources. The true source is unseen and inexhaustible, always seeking to pour through you in the form of ideas, opportunities, resources, and connections. When you look to a single channel as your source, you limit yourself and invite fear. But when you understand that you are heir to a limitless source, you open to multiple channels and endless possibilities. This is how you release worry and step into a state of trust. You begin to know that no matter what changes externally, your inheritance is untouched and cannot be diminished. The beggar mentality thrives on fear and small thinking. It says, if I asked for too much, it might not come. Or I might lose what little I have. It causes you to shrink your dreams and dull your desires, so you will not risk disappointment. But the divine heir mentality knows that your good is unlimited. That every desire implanted in your heart is backed by the power to fulfill it, and that nothing is too good to be true. This consciousness allows you to think and act boldly. You stop worrying about how things will happen, and instead affirm that they will happen according to divine law. You replace anxiety with expectancy. You replace pleading with gratitude. You replace limitation with expansion. Living as a divine heir also means taking responsibility for your inner state, A beggar waits for life to change before they feel worthy or secure. A divine heir understands that their inner state sets the tone for their external reality. You cultivate thoughts of worthiness, abundance and power even when appearances suggest otherwise. You affirm, I am supported, I am guided, I am worthy of all good, and I am heir to infinite supply. These affirmations are not wishful thinking. They are statements of spiritual fact that reprogram your subconscious mind. As your subconscious accepts them, your outer world begins to reflect them, creating a life that mirrors your elevated self-concept. To embody your inheritance, you must also expand your capacity to receive. This means letting go of guilt, shame, and the idea that it is selfish to prosper. The universe desires your expansion, because through your expansion it expresses its own infinite nature. Every time you accept more good into your life, you demonstrate what is possible and become a living example of abundance. This benefits others as much as it benefits you. When you prosper, you have more to share, give, and inspire. When you rise into your divine inheritance, you elevate the collective consciousness, showing others they too can claim their good. A divine heir lives by spiritual law, not by appearances. Appearances may come and go, but spiritual law is constant. This law states that as you sow, you shall reap, and that your inner state of consciousness determines your outer results. By maintaining faith, gratitude, and expectation of good, you align with the law and draw to yourself experiences that match your higher state. This is why it is vital to speak words of power rather than words of lack. Every word you speak is a command to the unseen forces shaping your life. Speak as a sovereign, not as a supplicant. Declare your good with authority, knowing that the infinite responds to conviction and certainty. The shift from beggar to heir also transforms your relationships. A beggar seeks validation and support from others to feel worthy. An heir brings their own sense of worth into every interaction, creating balanced, uplifting relationships based on mutual respect and shared abundance. You stop approaching others with the energy of need and begin approaching them with the energy of overflow. This shift draws more supportive, prosperous, and empowering connections into your life. You become magnetic to people and opportunities that resonate with your expanded self-concept. Stepping into your inheritance requires consistent practice. The world will often mirror your old beliefs until your new beliefs are firmly rooted. In those times, it is crucial to persist. Keep affirming your worthiness. Keep visualizing your desired life. Keep acting as if your inheritance is already present. This persistence builds a new pattern in your mind, and once the pattern is established, the results become inevitable. Faith is not merely hoping things will change. It is knowing that because you are aligned with the infinite, things must change. Another important aspect of living as a divine heir is generosity. A beggar clings to what little they have, fearing loss. An heir knows their supply is infinite and gives freely, knowing that giving multiplies their good. This does not mean reckless spending or ignoring practical responsibilities. It means giving with joy and trust, whether that giving is financial, emotional, or through your talents and service. As you give, you affirm your abundance and create space for more to flow in. You become a conduit of circulation, which is the law of life itself. To fully embrace your inheritance, you must also let go of comparison. A beggar compares themselves to others, feeling either superior or inferior. An heir knows their path is unique and their supply is individual. You do not need to compete or struggle. Your good is already yours by right of consciousness. This awareness dissolves envy and resentment, replacing them with gratitude and peace. You celebrate others' successes because you know their abundance does not diminish yours. In fact, it confirms the limitless nature of the source you share. Finally, claiming your inheritance is about identity. Who do you believe yourself to be? If you identify as limited, powerless, and unworthy, your life will reflect that belief. If you identify as infinite, powerful, and worthy, your life will reflect that belief. Your identity sets the tone for your requests, your actions, and your results. Begin to see yourself as a sovereign being, a channel of divine power, and an heir to all good things. Walk, speak, and act from this identity daily. As you do, the outer world will reshape itself to match your inner knowing, and you will experience the life that has always been yours in potential, waiting for you to claim it. Small thoughts attract small conditions. Grand thoughts attract grand conditions because the universe responds to the quality, scope, and intensity of your inner focus. Every idea you hold in your mind is a seed, and the type of seed you plant determines the harvest you receive. When you habitually think small, when you limit your imagination to the bare minimum, when you shrink your desires out of fear of disappointment, you are planting seeds that can only grow into modest, constricted results. But when you dare to think grandly, when you allow your mind to roam in expansive visions, when you claim your right to abundance, joy, success, health, and creativity on a large scale, you plant seeds that grow into experiences as magnificent as your thoughts. The universe is infinite and impartial. It does not ration its supply, it mirrors back to you what you expect and what you hold in consciousness. Your thoughts are the blueprint of your reality, and your outer world cannot exceed the limits of your inner vision. Thinking small often comes from a deep-seated belief in lack or unworthiness. Perhaps you were taught to be practical, to know your place, to avoid getting your hopes up. Perhaps you have experienced disappointment in the past, and learned to lower your expectations to protect yourself. But these habits only reinforce limitation. They signal to the universe that you expect little and are willing to receive little. Each time you think a small thought, you constrict the flow of infinite supply through your life. It is not that the universe withholds from you, but that your own belief system creates a narrow opening through which your good can flow. Expanding your thoughts widens that opening and allows more of the infinite to express itself through you. Grand thoughts, by contrast, are expansive, courageous, and faith-filled. They affirm that life is abundant, and that you are a worthy participant in that abundance. They do not ask, "How can this happen?" but declare, "It is happening," and trust that the means will reveal themselves. When you hold grand thoughts consistently, you create a mental atmosphere charged with possibility and magnetism. People, opportunities, and resources begin to appear in ways you could not have orchestrated on your own. Your intuition sharpens, your creativity awakens, and you begin to act in ways that align with your larger vision. This is not magic, but the natural consequence of aligning your inner world with the expansive nature of the universe. Every great achievement begins with a grand thought. The bridge from the invisible to the visible is imagination. When you imagine boldly, you activate creative forces that lie dormant when you think small. Imagination backed by faith becomes vision, and vision backed by action becomes reality. This is why it is so vital to feed your mind with expansive ideas, uplifting words, and inspiring images. Guard against negativity, cynicism, and limitation, for these are weeds in the garden of your mind. Replace them with affirmations of abundance, stories of possibility, and beliefs that support your growth. Thinking grandly does not mean ignoring reality, but redefining it. You acknowledge your current circumstances without being bound by them. You see beyond appearances to the potential within them. A person who thinks small sees obstacles. A person who thinks grand sees stepping stones. A person who thinks small waits for conditions to improve. A person who thinks grand improves their conditions from within. This inner shift precedes outer change. The universe responds to your dominant vibration, not your momentary wish. By maintaining grand thoughts consistently, you raise your vibration and draw to yourself conditions that match your elevated state. One powerful way to shift from small thoughts to grand thoughts is to examine the language you use. Words are carriers of consciousness. When you find yourself saying things like, "I just hope I can get by," or "I'll settle for this," or "I don't want too much," you are programming your mind to accept limitation. Instead, speak in terms of abundance, expansion, and possibility. Say, "I welcome overflowing good," or "I am open to magnificent outcomes," or "I expect miracles." These statements may feel unfamiliar at first, but over time they reshape your subconscious and change your mental atmosphere. As your words grow larger, your thoughts grow larger, and your life grows larger. Another practice is to spend time each day visualizing a grander version of your life. Close your eyes and see yourself living your highest vision. Feel the emotions of success, freedom, health, love, and creativity as if they are already present. This practice trains your nervous system to accept a new normal and reduces the resistance that often accompanies big dreams. The more vividly you imagine and feel your desired life, the more you align with it and draw it to you. This is not idle daydreaming, but a form of mental rehearsal that conditions your mind for expansion. It is also important to surround yourself with influences that support grand thinking. Spend time with people who uplift you, read books that inspire you, listen to teachings that expand your awareness, and avoid environments steeped in negativity or limitation. Your subconscious mind absorbs from its environment, and if your environment is saturated with small thinking, it will be harder to maintain your grand vision. Conversely, when you immerse yourself in expansive energy, your own thinking naturally rises to meet it. Grand thoughts also require courage. Thinking beyond your current circumstances can feel uncomfortable because it challenges your identity and the limits you have accepted. You may feel unworthy, unrealistic, or fearful of failure. But courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to act in spite of fear. Each time you choose a grand thought over a small one, you strengthen your capacity for boldness. Each time you affirm abundance in the face of lack, you rewrite your mental script. This repeated practice gradually shifts your default thinking from small to grand. The benefits of grand thinking go beyond material results. They elevate your consciousness and align you with your higher self. When you think expansively, you tap into creative ideas, intuitive guidance, and inspired action that uplift not only your own life but the lives of those around you. Your expanded consciousness becomes a blessing to others, as your example shows them what is possible. This ripple effect can transform families, communities, and even societies. Another key element of grand thinking is gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful amplifier. When you are grateful for what you have and simultaneously grateful in advance for what you desire, you place yourself in harmony with abundance. Gratitude dissolves fear and shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is available. This shift naturally expands your thoughts, because you begin to see the universe as supportive and generous rather than withholding. You cannot think small and be truly grateful at the same time. Gratitude lifts you into the vibration of grand thoughts, where more good can flow to you. To sustain grand thinking, you must also be willing to release the past. Small thoughts are often anchored to old disappointments, failures, or beliefs that this is just how life is. To move into expansion, you must forgive yourself and others, let go of old stories, and create space for a new identity. This process may feel like stepping into the unknown, but the unknown is where all growth happens. Each time you release a limiting belief, you free yourself to embrace a grander vision. Ultimately, small thoughts and grand thoughts are choices. You choose the scale of your vision. You choose the size of your expectations. You choose how much of the infinite you are willing to allow. By choosing grand thoughts consistently, you build a new mental habit, and that habit becomes a new reality. The universe is impartial but responsive, and when it senses the power, clarity, and expansiveness of your thoughts, it mirrors them back in kind. By daring to think grandly, you align with your true nature as a creator and open the door to experiences beyond anything your small self could have imagined. Release unworthiness and open yourself to limitless supply, because every belief of unworthiness acts as a dam against the flow of good that is naturally yours. From childhood, many people are conditioned to believe they are small, undeserving, or somehow lacking. These impressions settle into the subconscious and become invisible rules shaping every choice, every request, and every expectation. When you feel unworthy, you unconsciously reject opportunities, dismiss blessings, sabotage success, and shrink from possibilities. You might say you want abundance, yet deep down you feel you do not deserve it, and so you push it away. The universe is constantly offering more than enough to everyone, but it can only flow through the channel of your belief and self-concept. To receive without limit, you must clear away the inner obstructions built from shame, guilt, or self-criticism and replace them with a new sense of worthiness and belonging. At the heart of worthiness is the understanding that you are an expression of infinite intelligence, not a mistake, not an afterthought. You were born with value that cannot be increased or diminished by any outer circumstance. The stars, the oceans, the seasons do not question their right to exist, and neither should you. Every time you question your worthiness, you dim the light of your own power. Every time you affirm your worthiness, you open the floodgates of supply. This supply is not merely money but ideas, inspiration, health, relationships, creativity, and opportunities. It is life itself seeking to flow through you in ever-expanding ways. The more worthy you feel, the wider the channel becomes and the more easily you attract experiences that reflect your elevated self-concept. Releasing unworthiness is an inner process of recognition and reprogramming. It begins by noticing the subtle ways you diminish yourself, the self-critical thoughts, the reluctance to ask for help, the tendency to settle for less, the habit of downplaying your gifts. Each of these behaviors signals a hidden belief in limitation. As you become aware of them, you can begin to challenge them. When a thought arises saying, "I don't deserve this," replace it with, "I am worthy of all good." When you catch yourself shrinking from an opportunity because you feel inadequate, affirm, "I am enough as I am." This repetition of new truths rewires the subconscious and gradually dissolves the old programming. Opening yourself to limitless supply also requires forgiveness, because guilt is one of the most powerful anchors of unworthiness. Guilt convinces you that you must atone by denying yourself happiness or abundance. Yet the universe does not hold grudges, only you do. Forgive yourself for past mistakes. Forgive others for what they have done. In forgiveness, you release the chains that bind your energy. This creates a vacuum that the universe rushes to fill with fresh supply. As you forgive, you make space for new opportunities and blessings to arrive. Without forgiveness, you remain tethered to the past and closed to the present flow. To open yourself to limitless supply, you must also practice receiving. Many people are comfortable giving but uncomfortable receiving, because receiving triggers their hidden beliefs of unworthiness. They deflect compliments, resist help, or undercharge for their work. These habits signal to the universe that you are unwilling to receive. Begin practicing graceful receiving. When someone offers praise or help, accept it fully. When opportunities arise, step into them without self-doubt. When abundance shows up, welcome it rather than questioning whether it is too good to be true. This trains your nervous system to feel safe with abundance and expands your capacity to hold more of it. Another key practice is to anchor your sense of worthiness in your true identity, rather than in external conditions. If you base your worth on your achievements, appearance, or possessions, you will always feel at risk of losing it. But if you base your worth on the unchanging fact of your divine origin, it becomes unshakable. This unshakable worth makes you magnetic to supply, because you are no longer oscillating between feeling deserving and undeserving. You become a stable point of attraction, consistently open to receiving good regardless of what is happening externally. Gratitude is another powerful tool for opening to limitless supply. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what is present, and amplifies the flow of good. It also signals to the universe that you are a good steward of what you receive, which naturally invites more. Practice daily gratitude not only for what you already have, but also for the good that is on its way. This gratitude in advance is an act of faith, and creates a powerful magnetic field around you. It tells the universe you expect more, and are ready to receive it. Visualization can also help dissolve unworthiness. See yourself living a life of abundance, ease, and joy. Feel the emotions of being worthy, secure, and supported. Imagine the sensations of receiving freely and without guilt. By rehearsing these states internally, you train your subconscious mind to accept them as your new normal. The subconscious then works to bring your outer world into alignment with this inner picture. Over time, the feelings of unworthiness fade and are replaced by a natural sense of belonging and readiness. Affirmations stated consistently with feeling can become a new foundation of self-concept. Phrases like, "I am worthy of all the good life has to offer," "I am a perfect channel for divine abundance," "I now accept my limitless supply," can be repeated throughout the day. Speak them aloud, write them down, or meditate upon them until they become second nature. These statements are not empty slogans, but spiritual truths you are aligning with. Each repetition weakens the old patterns and strengthens the new. It is also helpful to examine your environment. Surround yourself with people, messages, and experiences that affirm your worth. Avoid environments that demean you or reinforce scarcity thinking. Read books, listen to talks, and engage in communities that celebrate abundance and empowerment. Your subconscious mind is impressionable, and constant exposure to affirming messages accelerates your transformation. To fully release unworthiness, you must also embody self-respect in your daily actions. Treat yourself as someone who is valuable. This includes how you care for your body, how you manage your time, how you set boundaries, and how you speak to yourself. Each act of self-respect reinforces your sense of worthiness and signals to the universe that you are ready for more. Conversely, neglecting yourself or tolerating disrespect sends the message that you are willing to remain small. Self-respect is not vanity, it is alignment with your true nature. Another step is to expand your self-image gradually. Unworthiness thrives in constricted self-concepts. Begin to imagine yourself doing, having, and being more. This does not mean striving or proving but opening and allowing. As you expand your self-image, your external life reorganizes to match it. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach become natural. Resources that once seemed scarce become plentiful. People who once ignored you begin to see your value. This shift is not forced but emerges organically from your inner transformation. Finally, remember that limitless supply is not only about material wealth but about all forms of good. As you release unworthiness, you open yourself to love, creativity, health, joy, wisdom, and spiritual connection. These are all aspects of the same infinite source. When you accept one form, you make it easier to accept others. By practicing openness and worthiness in every area of life, you create a comprehensive field of abundance that lifts you into a new way of being, where lack no longer feels natural, and receiving feels as effortless as breathing. Prosperity and boldness allow the universe to express its greatness through you. Because abundance is the natural language of the infinite and boldness is the signal that you are ready to receive it. When you live timidly, withholding your gifts, shrinking your desires, and fearing judgment, you create a constricted channel, through which only a trickle of good can flow. But when you step into prosperity consciousness and dare to live boldly, you open yourself as a wide, clear channel for the universe to pour its ideas, resources, and opportunities into the world through you. Prosperity is not merely money, it is the fullness of life in every area. Health, creativity, relationships, purpose, and freedom. Boldness is not arrogance or recklessness, it is the courage to act on your inner guidance, to think big, to move with faith even when appearances suggest otherwise. Together, prosperity and boldness form a dynamic magnet that draws to you everything needed for your highest expression and allows you to give back at an even greater level. To embody prosperity is to recognize that you are not separate from your supply. You do not have to chase it, manipulate it, or prove yourself worthy of it. Prosperity flows from within as an extension of your consciousness. If your inner world is steeped in scarcity, fear, or unworthiness, no amount of external striving can create lasting abundance. But when you cultivate thoughts of plenty, gratitude, and openness, you align yourself with the natural flow of good. This flow becomes visible as new ideas, relationships, synchronicities, and financial increase. You begin to see that prosperity is not something you attain, but something you allow. And the more you allow it, the more the universe expresses its fullness through you. Boldness amplifies this effect because it signals to the universe that you trust the supply and are willing to act upon it. When you take bold steps, launching a new venture, speaking your truth, investing in your growth, or claiming a larger vision, you demonstrate that you are no longer operating from fear. This creates a vacuum that the universe rushes to fill with support and opportunities. Boldness acts like a declaration. I am ready for more. I am willing to be seen. I am willing to carry greater responsibility. I am willing to be a channel of greater good. The infinite delights in such declarations, because they open the way for its creative power to flow into new forms of expression. Prosperity and boldness also transform your relationship with giving and receiving. In a state of scarcity, you may hesitate to give, fearing loss, or hesitate to receive, fearing unworthiness. But in prosperity consciousness, giving and receiving become natural, joyful exchanges. You give from overflow, not obligation, and you receive without guilt, knowing that every gift you accept increases your capacity to give. This circulation of energy mirrors the circulation of life itself. Bold action in giving, whether of time, money, love, or talent, creates momentum that draws even greater blessings into your experience. You become a living example of the principle that the more you pour out, the more you are filled. Another way prosperity and boldness allow the universe to express through you is by activating your unique talents and purpose. Every person carries within them a set of gifts and inclinations designed for service and expression. In scarcity and timidity, these gifts remain dormant or underdeveloped. But in prosperity and boldness, you invest in your skills, take risks to share them, and position yourself where they can reach others. The universe then uses you as a conduit to bless others, often in ways far beyond what you could have planned. As you step into your purpose boldly, resources align to support you, people appear to collaborate with you, and ideas come to move you forward. This is the natural unfolding of the infinite's desire to create through you. Prosperity consciousness also shifts your self-image. You stop seeing yourself as a limited being trying to survive and start seeing yourself as an abundant being expanding life's expression. This shift in identity influences every decision you make. You no longer accept lack as normal. You no longer tolerate environments or relationships that diminish you. You start choosing from a place of sufficiency rather than desperation. Each choice reinforces your prosperity consciousness, which in turn attracts more circumstances to match it. Boldness strengthens this process because it requires you to step beyond your comfort zone repeatedly, each time proving to yourself that the universe supports you at every new level. To cultivate prosperity and boldness, it is essential to train both your mind and your emotions. Fill your mind with affirmations of abundance, such as, "I am a channel of infinite good," or, "Prosperity flows to and through me now." Visualize yourself acting boldly, taking steps that scare you yet excite you, and see yourself succeeding. Feel the emotions of confidence, gratitude, and expansiveness as if they are happening now. The subconscious mind responds to repeated images and feelings. As you saturate it with prosperity and boldness, your outer life begins to reorganize accordingly. Gratitude plays a vital role in this process. Being grateful for your current blessings, while also feeling grateful in advance for what you are calling in, raises your vibration and aligns you with the energy of abundance. It also dissolves fear, making bold action easier. When you truly feel that life is for you and supporting you, boldness feels natural rather than forced. You begin to see risks as opportunities and challenges as invitations to grow. Surrounding yourself with evidence of prosperity and boldness helps anchor these qualities in your consciousness. Read stories of people who overcame obstacles through courage. Spend time with individuals who think expansively and act decisively. Avoid environments steeped in cynicism or scarcity. Your mind is impressionable, and the more you expose it to bold, prosperous thinking, the more it adopts those patterns as your new normal. This environment acts as a mirror, reflecting back the truth of your potential until you embody it fully. Prosperity and boldness also influence how you handle setbacks. In a scarcity mindset, setbacks feel like proof that you are doomed to fail. In a prosperity mindset, setbacks are seen as temporary and instructive. You use them as feedback, adjust your approach, and keep moving forward. Boldness gives you the resilience to try again, and prosperity consciousness gives you the faith that more opportunities are always on the way. This combination creates an unstoppable momentum, which the universe matches with new avenues of growth and success. As prosperity and boldness deepen, your capacity to inspire others grows. People see your courage and your abundance, and it activates something within them. They recognize their own potential reflected in your example. This ripple effect multiplies the impact of your actions, far beyond what you can directly observe. The universe expresses its greatness not just in what you accomplish, but in the way your accomplishments spark greatness in others. Ultimately, prosperity and boldness allow you to live a life of contribution and meaning. With your needs met and your fears quieted, You can focus on service, creativity, and higher purpose. You can fund causes you believe in, mentor others, create beauty, and innovate solutions. You become an agent of the infinite's generosity, channeling its resources into the world in ways that uplift and transform. This is the highest expression of prosperities. Not accumulation for its own sake but circulation for the sake of expansion. Practicing prosperity and boldness is a lifelong journey. Each time you accept more good, you are called to a new level of expression. Each time you take a bold step, you open the way for even greater opportunities. The universe is endless, so your growth can be endless. There is no ceiling except the one you imagine. The more you embody these qualities, the more the infinite can do through you, and the more your life becomes a testimony to the boundless nature of reality.